Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded anything, but I'm really excited about the video that I have planned for today. I wanted to do the palette tag challenge. It has a couple names that I've seen. I first saw it from Leah Jenae's video, and I'll link that down below so you can see her video. But basically what it is there's a list of questions that I wrote down about your eyeshadow palettes, and you just kind of like go through your palettes and talk about them, answer the questions, and it's just kind of like a fun video to show off like your collection. And I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and I feel like I chose like not the best time to do it. So the reason I didn't do it earlier was because I kept buying makeup, to be honest, especially when I was home during like quarantine and everything. I just like kept buying makeup, and I kept waiting for palettes to come in so I could like use them in this video, and it's a sickness and a problem. And finally I stopped buying makeup and everything's here. But then things have been kind of blowing up with some YouTubers and beauty community people that I'm not like going to get into, but I want to address it because I do have some products from those people, from Jeffree Star in particular, that I'm going to talk about. So I just want to kind of like put it out there. So if you don't want to watch it because of that, that's fine. But I have his products and I'm not throwing them out because they were expensive. And for now, like, this is just what it is. And we're going to have like a fun video today. So let's get started. Alright, so starting off strong, we're talking about the newest palette. So the first question is like your newest palette. And my newest palette is the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star Mini Controversy palette, which is causing a lot of controversy right now. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I waited for this, the Put It Back shade. I waited to buy it until they put that in, which was like right before everything exploded. So I bought this palette. I haven't really used it yet because I just got it. It just came in the mail like last week or the week before. So I haven't really gotten the chance to use it, but this is my newest palette. And then next is my oldest palette, which is the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette. So I told you we're going to talk a lot about it today. So this is my oldest palette. Here's what it looks like on the inside. So not a ton of use out of this palette because it's like a lot of like bright blues and stuff. That's not really good for everyday wear, but it is like a really pretty palette and I like it a lot. And there's a couple like cool like inner corner highlight shades that I use a lot, stuff like that. So that's my oldest. I think I forgot to mention this in my intro, but I have 10 palettes total that I'm talking about today, which I know in like the beauty YouTube world is not a lot. There's going to be like some repeats compared to some of the other videos that you may watch about this challenge. But diving right into the next video, or the next question, is my most expensive palette, which I think is also the Blue Blood palette. So this retails for $52, I think. And you're paying, it's definitely like really good quality eyeshadow, but you're also paying for the packaging. Like, it's a really like sturdy coffin shaped palette. It's not the best for like storage purposes because of this little like dip and stuff, but it is like really pretty. You can't deny like all this little designs and like the little clasp. This is my most expensive palette that I have right now. The next is the most affordable palette, so that would definitely be my e.l.f. x J-Kissa, I think, palette. So this is like for like the rescues. It's called To the Rescue. I think it's about like rescue animals. To be honest, I'm not super sure what it's for. I don't know who J-Kissa is, to be honest, so I don't know like what her message is about this palette, but it's a really pretty like rainbow palette. It has like the bright rainbow colors up here, a little more muted down here, and then some like sparkly glitter shades. So this is definitely my most affordable palette. I think this was $20 if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's much more than that if it's not $20, maybe $25. So I really like this palette. So this is my most affordable. Also, it comes with stickers. These are the stickers that I put on mine. But they have like a lot. They come with a lot of stickers, which is like a weird extra, but kind of cool. It's like unique. So e.l.f. To the Rescue palette. Alright, so the next one's a little more challenging for me, which is weird because you would think it'd be the easiest. So you're supposed to show your like everyday palette, like the one you use most often. But I don't wear makeup every day. Like, I don't wear makeup to work in my job. But it really doesn't make sense. I'm like outside a lot usually, like running around. So I don't really wear makeup every day. I also really enjoy sleep, and I would rather sleep for like an extra 10 minutes sometimes. But I think if I were to choose like my most used palette with like everyday wearable shades, it would be the Morphe x Jeffree Star. And that's just because, especially for Jeffree Star eyeshadow palettes, this has like the most neutrals, most like beiges and browns, like especially like right up here, this section I use a lot, and then like these little browns down here. So this would probably be what I would go to for every day. I would just kind of like pick a brown shade as like more neutral tone, just stick it in my crease, smoke it out a little bit, and then throw on some eyeliner and mascara and call it a day, which is literally what I did today, except I didn't use this palette. So next is the most colorful palette, and that is definitely my 39L Hit the Lights palette from Morphe. I'm realizing in my lights that like a lot of my palettes have like this reflective thing, and I'm not mad about it. I like really, but this is my most colorful palette. It has like these really bright shades I gravitate towards a lot when I do like rainbow looks, or I just need a really bright pop of color. These shades in the corner are like really awesome for that. And there's a lot of like shimmer shades, a couple like glitters like up here. This black glitter is like really pretty. I like that a lot. And yeah, so this is my most colorful palette. It's also huge. So going from most colorful to biggest, it's also the 39L. So I'm just gonna knock them all out in one shot. So this is 39 pans, obviously 39L. And it's huge. It's like bigger than my face, and it's kind of cumbersome to work with, and there's no mirror, which is really annoying, but it has the most shades, and it's my most colorful palette and also my biggest. So here it is, barely in the frame. Biggest palette. And then obviously the next would be the smallest palette. So I actually have two that are the same size, both from Jeffree Star, the Mini Controversy and the Mini Jawbreaker. So you saw the Mini Controversy earlier, but I'll just like give you a little peek again because it is pretty like this. So that's what the Mini Controversy looks like. It is 9 pans, and then the Jawbreaker is the same size, 9 pans, and it is also super bright and fun. Ow. And I got this in one of his mystery boxes, so this was like a really cool fun surprise. This was like I think the first eyeshadow palette he put in a mystery box, and because it's like a mini, it's like super easy to use. There's a mirror. I sometimes, even if I'm not using this palette, just use it for the mirror because it just fits in your hand really well. So it's like a good size, so I really enjoy these palettes. Alrighty, so the next like question is the palette with like the best memory attached to it. For me, that would be my Blue Bud palette. So I don't use this palette super often because it's blues and people don't usually wear blue eyeshadows on the regular. I really started to like really watch a lot of YouTube videos at that time, and he was just about to release his Blue Blood collection, and I just like needed it in my life. I just needed to buy this palette. So I bought it and I got it, and I was like, I don't know what the heck to do with all this. Like, this is out of my wheelhouse. And I saw like a pictorial, you know, like the swipe to follow the steps, and I thought like I could do that. Like I actually have this palette, so I can like use all the colors she used, and I did it, and it came out really awesome for what my skills were at the time. I think if I were to redo it today, it would look a lot different, and I think look better probably. But for the time, I was kind of like, wow, I did this. I can do this. Like, it's hard for sure, but I was like, I have more skill than I thought I did. So that was probably the best memory makeup wise that I have with the palette. So I was using my Blue Bud palette. So next is a makeup palette that's worth the hype. That's kind of hard. So I'm gonna go with the Warrior 3 by Juvias Place. I'm not sure how much hype this specific palette has, to be honest, but Juvias Place I know has kind of like a lot of hype around their palettes. So this one in particular, I have two of them. I have two Juvias Place palettes, but this one I use a lot. It's a 9-pan palette. It's a little bigger than like the Jeffree Star 9 pans. And it has really great colors, really great pigment, and I created a look with this palette specifically, and I did a butterfly eye look with these two shades, and they just blended together so beautifully. I had never had eyeshadow blend together that well, and it just looked like so soft and so like just blended. Like, it looked really nice with not, you know, I didn't have to like work very hard to do that. So I think that Juvia's Place is definitely worth the hype, and they're more affordable. Like, I think these two palettes that I bought, this one was $25, and then I'm just going to show you the other one because I like it as well. This is the Masquerade Mini. So same size, but smaller, more pans inside. So this is what it looks like inside. Where was I going with this? The price. So I think the bigger pans were about $25. I think this one might have been like $35 because you get more shades. But either way, like super affordable, really pigmented, awesome eyeshadows. So worth the hype. definitely worth the hype. Alright, so next is a palette that's not worth the hype. That's hard as well. I really like to do my research since makeup's so expensive. I think the one that's not worth the hype to me, I'm just gonna go with the one that I use the least, I guess, which would be my Morphe 15S Social Butterfly palette, and I really don't use it a lot. I think it's a really pretty palette, but I just don't gravitate towards it. The shades aren't that great. This one right here, Not Famous, is very strange to me. Oops. In that, like, it just kind of like peels off into this weird like creamy texture that you can kind of see around the pan, but they just kind of have a weird formula. The only one I really use out of this shade, or out of this palette, is the Off-Camera Black. So yeah, I think this one would be not worth the hype, and I don't know if that goes for all of their 15 pan palettes, because the Hit the Lights palette I do use quite a bit, but this one just for whatever reason. So we have 2 more questions in our palette challenge. So the next is a favorite palette, favorite brand, which again is going to be really difficult for me because if you couldn't tell, the majority of my palettes are from Jeffree Star, and there's a lot going on with him right now. So I don't want to say that he's my favorite brand. So I'm just going to go with my favorite palette right now. It also changes, like, honestly, from week to week. But I think the Alien palette is like a really beloved palette of mine. So this is what it looks like. I've used it in many videos and many looks on my Instagram. And actually, I think I lied before when I said that when I started watching Jeffree Star's videos and like watching makeup videos on YouTube, this was actually what was released first. And I thought it was really cool. I loved the like design concept the Alien had. And I just never bought it because at the time spending $52 on an eyeshadow palette was unheard of to me. But I would have bought this palette, I think, if I had seen it in person, because it's just so pretty. Like, and it's a lot more wearable shades than like the Blue Bud palette, for example, which is such a bold palette and I love using it when I can. But this I can actually use and like go out into the world, like all these like grays and browns. And then you still have like your pops of color, which is fun. I think this is my favorite palette from a previously favorite brand. And then last but not least, your most used palette. I don't really have a most used palette. It kind of depends on what I'm trying to do for like when I post to Instagram or when I'm just like playing around. And I think lately I've really been gravitating towards the Juvias Place palettes. They're just really pretty. They're both of them together I've been using. This one has like really cool colors in it. I love this Karama shade. It's kind of like an iridescent purple, purpley gray. I'm not flipping you off. Color. So, and also the Masquerade Mini by Juvias Place. These metallics are so pigmented and so pretty. There is a lot of fallout, I will say. I've had, especially with Makeda, this purpley shimmer, so much fallout, but so pigmented. So the fallout for me is worth it with these two, with that shade. So, yeah, my most used palettes lately are these two. Alrighty guys, so that is the end of the palette tag challenge. I'll also list the questions and the products used in the description box if you want to check those out. And I would love to see like your guys' collections if you guys want to, you know, take the questions and make your own. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video. I'm hoping to really knuckle down and get some more videos out. I just haven't been like super inspired to do YouTube lately. I have been doing a lot on my Instagram, but even that's kind of fallen back to the wayside now that I'm back at work and just, you know, we're halfway through the year somehow, which is bizarre. But yeah, again, thanks for watching, and I would really love it if you guys would hit that subscribe button, like this video, you know, share it if you want. Would mean the absolute world to me. So in the meantime, thank you guys for watching. I think I've said that like 15 times, but yeah, bye guys.